Hi everybody, this is Debbie from Stamp On It, and this is a product preview video. This video is focusing on our new Slimline Vintage Hues, and I want to go through just what they are and how to work with them. So first of all, let's begin by showing you the different layouts of the Slimline Vintage Hues. As you know, a Slimline card is a card that is narrow and taller or wider, depending on whether you create a vertical or a horizontal. So we have created a line of Vintage Hues that fits perfectly onto the front of the Slimline. And we're going to show you several ways to work with them. And I'm going to move fairly quickly, so if you lose track of this, you can play the video back. But I want to cover some very quick, I want to cover ground quickly. So the Vintage Hues in the Slimline department come in what we call a horizontal layout, a vertical layout, and they also come with images, greetings in them, vertical and horizontal, but they also come with the center empty. All right, now here is the reasoning for that, and I'm going to grab a pretty colored vintage or overlay here just to give you a idea. So first of all, if you use an overlay, we have overlays that are specifically designed to be worked with the Vintage Hues Slimline. If you have a vertical layout, this overlay will fit perfectly, encompassing those three images. All right. If you have a horizontal, it will fit perfectly this way. All right, now another added feature is they have cutting lines. So I'm going to hold this one up to the camera just a bit, and they have very faint gray cutting lines. So what you can do is cut on those lines if you wish, and if you're going to do a full horizontal layout and go all the way across using all three images, you can cut on this line and then up, and that piece will fit perfectly behind that overlay. Now, you do not need to use an overlay to use these Vintage Hues, but it certainly is nice and it makes it very quick and easy. I'm going to show you some samples at the end where we do not use overlays. I'm going to take and cut one of these up, not this particular line. This isn't our Little Hoots line. We have several different lines. We have shades of florals, we have windowsill pets, we have nature's soft shades in the Slimline, and you can find those all on our website and look at all the different layouts. Now there is one more layout to each of the designs, and that is what we call a full sheet. That would look like this, and I'm going to show you this one in the shades of florals, where the images are all the way across, up and down, and it fills the sheet. Now with this one, the idea is that you can cut these apart into all individual, if you just wish, and use them that way, okay? So I'm going to take, and I'm going to quickly show you how to work with one of the sheets. And I am going to use our glitter film with it. Now you don't have to do this, but our glitter film works just so wonderfully with our Vintage Hues. So I'm going to show you how to work with one with the glitter film. Now you can certainly do this same thing without the glitter film, but I'm going to show you with. And I am going to show you a full sheet mount where I'm going to put the glitter film on the entire piece of the Vintage Hue. So I'm going to turn this over to the dull or printed side of the Vintage Hue, and I'm going to take our glitter film sheet, and with the glitter side up, I'm going to simply rub, or what we call worry, across that top edge. And if it doesn't work on one side, then turn your sheet and try on another side, okay? But worry your skin or your fingers over that edge, and you can see how that is catching on my skin. And I'm going to pull, when working with a full sheet, we don't want to completely remove the backing. You'll just have a sticky, kind of hard to deal with situation. So what we teach is to pull it back maybe an inch or two, and the backer is then folded over like thus, okay? So now I have, this is sticky, my backer, and the glitter side. So now with my sheet already down in front of me with a dull side up, I am simply going to line up the edge of the Vintage Hue with the approximate edge of my glitter film sheet. And it doesn't have to be exact, okay? You will have a little bit of excess glitter film to work with around the Vintage Hue, so it doesn't have to be an exact science, an exact cut. So now I'm going to slowly pull the backer sheet out and just kind of pushing down and coming across the front of my Vintage Hue. My other hand is here, just pressing down as I move across. And just kind of pull, kind of steady, slow, and all the way down until it releases, okay? Now you might want to save this backer sheet because this is a coated sheet and works really great for working with a lot of different things. It doesn't stick, tape does not stick to it, but also it makes a great palette for mixing colors on. All right, so now we have our sheet, and if there are air bubbles in it, you can go ahead and press those out. Work them to the edge if you can. If you can't get them out, just take a little pin, just a straight pin, pointed pin, and poke them and pop the bubbles. We're not going to worry about those right now because in essence of time, we're not going to chase bubbles, all right? So I have this sheet fully mounted now onto the glitter film. Now, the next step will be is to cut on the cutting lines. So now I lose a little bit of sight on my cutting line when I put the glitter film on because it is so beautiful. So I can put a sheet down and it just gives me a little brighter backing. And I am going to, not for this one, I'm just going to cut with a scissor. I don't need it to be exact because I'm going to use an overlay. If I wasn't going to use an overlay to frame my images, I would probably cut it with a trimmer. All right, now we're going to take and we're going to cut. This side is pretty much where it needs to be, that edge. Now we're going to cut on this edge on the cutting line. So we take that off, all right? Now, if you've cut on the cutting lines or thereabouts, when you take your overlay to within reason, you should be able to, and I'll hold this back up again so you can see, line up, and the images will fit perfectly into the overlay frame. Very, very quick and easy. Very easy. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. And my cutting line that I haven't cut on is here and here. Now for this piece, or this one that I'm showing you, I am not going to cut this out because I want to use it as is mounted on the glitter film. And I could just go ahead and add my adhesive foam mounting tape if you want some dimension, and your piece would look like that. All right. Now, if you wanted to, let's say, put something different in the middle one, or you didn't want the glitter film, I would take the sheet before I put the glitter film on and I would cut it up. So you would have pieces like this instead, where there's no glitter film on it yet. And then once I figured out what I wanted to use or didn't want to use, I would cut my glitter film up to match the pieces that I want to mount on glitter film, and then I would not put the glitter film in the middle, let's say, or however you are creating your piece. So then you would have a piece that looks more like this. There's no glitter film. All right, and the center also is just the acetate. Now, if I don't want the acetate in there, you can simply take on the cutting line. Having a little trouble finding that line there. Cut that one, and then I could cut this one. And if you have trouble seeing the cutting line, put a piece of scrap paper behind it and just cut the scrap paper up at the same time. Again, I'm using a scissor, but you can certainly use a trimmer. It works out probably a little easier. Now, I would be able to put my image on the back side. Again, mount it to the back side of your overlay and then onto the front of your card, and the same on the bottom. And the center one, I could then come back and add a sticker. All right. Now, if you do a full sheet print, you can cut them all apart and you can use them however you like. You can go horizontal, because once they're cut apart, then you can use them at however you want. You could go horizontal, you could go vertical simply by turning your images. All right. Now I want to show you just a couple. Here's my thoughts. This is a beautiful one. Again, this one was mounted onto glitter film, cut on the gray cutting line, and I could mount it onto here. Just absolutely stunningly soft, subtle, and beautiful. Very easy to work with. Super easy to work with. Now, if you don't use a overlay, let's say, I'll show you just a couple of quick examples of that. Here is one without an overlay where we just cut up the two, put them on glitter film, and adhered them to the front. When we did that, we simply used, and on this one we have a little dimension behind there, but you can put the adhesive on the back side. The glitter film will help to hide it, but also be creative if you like and put it behind maybe corner stickers or behind some of the darker print on the image. And that will help to hide that for you. Very, very nicely done. And I just want to show you a couple other ones here where we just enhanced it a little bit, and we added an embossing folder layer behind here where we embossed a layer just to create a little extra interest and dimension. And I had one other one I wanted to show you. Here's one where we used all three pieces, embossed the piece on the back behind there. We did not do the front of the card. We did a layer and then mounted it to the front of the card. These are three pieces cut. The center one we used a frame, and we actually took a piece of a overlay and just trimmed it down and used that as a frame on the front of that one. Our overlays for Slimline come in neutral colors. They come in festive colors, mixed pack, squares, and circles. When you go to our website and you look under product, you will see that it will tell you if this product is designed for a square overlay or possibly a circle opening. Obviously, when you get to, let's say, our little hoots, the circles work really well. I mean, you could use the squares, but the circles just really look great with that. So those are the little hoots. And again, you can use the little hoots horizontal, vertically. These are just great for kids, for just really, not only kids, but adults too, but just for really fun. This is the sunshine sheet. And that is using it with the circle. And again, this one and this one, we used crystal lacquer and glitter on the back of the overlay. And in the center, we put glitter film behind it just to give it a little sparkle. All of our samples are on our website. And you can go to the different sheets and see the layouts, and then you will see different samples that will or can be used with that particular sheet. And then some of the different products that are used in it. But use your imagination. The sheets are super easy to work with. They have the cutting lines for you to use if you like, or you can not use the cutting lines. Cut them all apart, leave them together horizontally, vertically, with words, without, add your own stickers or stamped images to it. Great product line. Take a look on our website if you're not already there, www.stamponit.net. And go to Slimline Card Products and under Vintage Hues Acetates. So check it out. If you have any questions, let us know. Email us right off our website. We hope you've enjoyed this very quick product review on the Slimline Vintage Hues. Thanks for watching.